Aha! Success. I've just spent the last 4 hours in the space behind your radiator, figuring out how to set up a ghost notification on my smartphone. Every time you get a text, I've rigged it so your screen flickers just a tiny bit. Tonight, we're looking at a specimen that has absolutely no interest in fitting into the modern world. We're talking about a massive prehistoric grudge with a healing factor that puts my shadow mending to shame. It hates everything with a pulse. Honestly, I respect the sheer, unadulterated crankiness of it all. Your hosts for this unkillable encounter are Mr. B and Mr. K. One of them is currently sitting in a bathtub full of vinegar because he's convinced it'll mask his scent, and the other is wearing a suit made entirely of reinforced duct tape. Gentlemen, try not to get eaten.
Thanks, Boogie. Appreciate the intro. I would like to bring up a SCP for this fantastic episode. How are you doing, Mr. B?
I'm doing fantastic as usual.
Great. So, how do you feel about lizards?
As long as they're tiny, I don't have too much of an issue.
No, tiny as in bearded dragon, gecko. What do we?
More like maybe like a garden lizard. I'm
iguana?
not too keen on iguanas or anything like that.
Well, this one's not so small. Probably bigger than an American crocodile, or even a saltwater crocodile at that.
I think it kind of leaches into the territory of, are you sure it's not a crocodile?
I'm pretty sure it's not a crocodile. So we're going to be talking about SCP-079, the unkillable lizard.
Okay, so I'm assuming that there's at least somewhat of a, I don't know, chance of trying to kill it, or they try to kill it and kind of failed, I'm assuming.
Yes. According to the Foundation files, they have attempted to kill this thing on many accounts, and they are actively trying to get rid of it just because of how dangerous it is.
Okay, so essentially they're trying to get rid of something that just will never get rid of.
Pretty much. This is like the Wolverine, Deadpool, something adaptive, just crazy monster.
So
go ahead.
Like, what separates it from, let's say, a crocodile or an alligator, considering it's a big lizard? I mean, like, is it outside of the healing factor, obviously? Like, does it look different or what?
Well, it's lizard-esque in form, I guess. Okay. It doesn't really look like anything we have today. Not a crocodile, not a dinosaur,
I was just gonna say dinosaur.
Something in between, I guess. Just a big scaly thing with teeth.
So I know SCPs. I've been kind of getting used to hearing you talk about them, and obviously regenerative powers it sounds like that's a big, part of it, but like when you come into, reptiles, it kind of happens, like a lizard loses its tail and it'll regrow back.
Kind of.
So I know that, they don't just deal with just the normal like regenerative factors.
Right.
What really like sets this thing up? I mean, like, does it I'm assuming there's something more than just healing factor. What are we talking about here, man?
So to kind of back up a little bit, its object class is Keter. So it is extremely hard to contain. Some of the containment parameters are it needs to be constantly bathed in acid, like piranha solution kind of stuff.
Right. Okay, so it's essentially, obviously it's not going to kill it. It's just keeping it wounded for the most part.
Pretty much. It's been known to still be able to speak. Well, let me back up. This thing is highly intelligent.
I was just gonna say,
so it is capable of speech.
Yeah. Okay, that's a huge little selling point there outside of regenerative healing factor. I mean, come on.
So going back to the healing factor, it gains adaptability or regenerativeness through consuming matter. It's got special gills apparently in its throat that help filter out certain things, and it basically drinks its acid bath to get enough nutrients to keep healing, but the acid is constantly eating away at it just as fast.
So when you mention the adaptiveness, do you think like eventually it would just adapt to it and then it just become immune to it?
Basically. So they have strict parameters for no one to interact with it, because you could potentially put it into a rage state and it would break out. You make it mad enough and the acid isn't enough.
Okay. All right. So, like, what are some of the other things that they've tried to do to get rid of it? I mean, because acid's pretty good solution.
Right.
I mean,
well, they've shot this thing. They've blown it up. They've honestly even had it face off against other SCPs in an attempt to kill it, or it kill one of the other dangerous SCPs. And I would like to get back onto that with maybe a different episode and talk about certain verses, SCP-682 versus Shy Guy or Peanut, and kind of talk about some of those instances and how they went.
Well, heck yeah. I know you brought this up in our Foundation episode, and it kind of intrigued me a little bit, and I'm kind of excited to do more of a deep dive and get into the what ifs situation with this. So I can't remember if this was like pre-show or if this was in the Foundations. You mentioned in passing, I'm assuming, that they try to send it to outer space.
Yeah, there was an instance, I don't know if it was an alternate universe or whatever, where, or I don't even know if it was that Thalmule that we brought up with the whole black hole incident, but they launched it. They launched 682 into space and sent it into a black hole, and apparently after being absorbed into the black hole, it re-emerged from the black hole as like a galactic titan that just evolved and adapted to have the strength to pull himself out of a black hole, and made a K-class scenario because they thought they were going to get rid of it or kill it, and it adapted to that high intense gravity and radio waves or solar radiation stuff, that deals with all that kind of sci-fi-ness.
Like gamma rays and
yeah,
so
gamma
forth.
rays.
Okay.
And it basically came out of a black hole like an atomic chaos monster.
Well, that sounds crazy. So I'm assuming when it adapts, it can get bigger and smaller and so on and so forth, right?
Right. So basically, as it's being damaged and it doesn't have anything to like feed on to help regenerate faster, it eventually can get quite small and beat up. But in other instances, how do I want to say this? They have a face-off with something, and it adapts to either not face it or just kind of get around and continue to survive.
Okay. So when you say that it gets to this titan of like cosmic proportions,
Right.
Did they ever get it back down to like where it normally would be, or even smaller than that? Or?
I would like to think the time it took it to travel back to Earth or whatever to make its revenge, maybe its powers wore off because it had nothing to adapt to anymore other than the coldness of space. So once it had the power to rip itself out of the black hole, I would assume by the time it made its way back to Earth, it would probably be its normal self and had adapted for the harshness of just normal space.
Okay. All right. So it kind of just took care of itself, essentially.
Pretty much,
Right.
So obviously there wasn't a K-class scenario, and the Foundation still exists, and they had this whole experience. So I can only assume something changed along the way.
Right.
Or it was an alternate universe, and they created a monster, and it deleted the Earth. It's hard telling.
Right. That kind of goes back to the whole many worlds theory at that point.
Right. So, but they've tried all kinds of different things, and to basically get rid of this thing, and it has either adapted or healed fast enough to just where it could not be eliminated.
Right.
They've even got it down to like 87% damage, I guess they said in the file, and it could still move and talk.
Oh, geez.
So almost like only 25% less or left of it, and it can still function.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Then it kind of comes down to like what is the aspect of how far can it regenerate,
Right. And maybe to bring it into perspective, like if you chopped off this thing's arm or something, its arm isn't gonna regenerate another copy of it like a starfish. It's just lost its arm, and its main mass will fix the arm it lost.
Right. So would it cannibalize itself to regenerate?
It's been known to. There's been some instances where it was having a hard time with something, and I think it started eating its own tail to help it regenerate, or it was maybe a mimetic agent that they used against it to make it harm itself until it figured out how to adapt and not be able to harm itself.
Okay. All right. So with this containment situation, do you know of any other, I guess, procedures to lead up to the whole acid bath? Because I mean, I know we had one of our viewers of the short that we put out, they brought up the whole ideal of, hey, what about lava? And I want to give credit to that person. I do believe it was at Heathcliff. And I'll make sure I'll put that on the video. But to his credit, or her credit, whoever the person's credit, have they tried lava? I mean, because like that sounds like it'd be pretty straightforward. I mean outside of...
I could only assume how that would go, knowing the whole black hole thing. So lava would be just, you know,
a temporary fix,
the cherry on the cake. You know. So yeah, let's try to run through that scenario. You take SCP-079 and you sedate it and you haul it, you know, damaged from acid or whatever, and you haul it to the nearest volcano and you just chuck them in, you know. You sons of bitches. And he hits the lava and catches on fire and starts soaking into the lava. I could only assume this thing's gonna start eating the lava. Its skin's gonna get tougher and fire heat resistant, and you're probably gonna have a kaiju pop out of the volcano at this point, you know, because it's gonna adapt, you know, its blood's gonna be able to handle the heat, and its skin's not gonna get burned. It might adapt to where it could swim in the lava. I don't know. It would adapt to the point where it gets strong enough to climb out of the volcano.
Yeah, that sounds a little terrifying if you toss in something and then all of a sudden just does hot laps in the freaking lava pool.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like that Phoenix kaiju monster from Pacific Rim, you know, that's 682. You got a lava lizard Godzilla coming out of this volcano and it's pissed off.
Right. So now this is what I kind of have an ideal of. Okay, at what point does it take enough damage to where it can't repair itself? I mean, you say, what, it got down to 80 some percent, right?
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you think that it would be unable to? I mean, like 90%.
I don't know.
95?
There's been instances where they've got it down to a pile of mush, and he still came back. So there must be a cell or something, you know, to where he's just nothing, you know, took the full blast of an atomic bomb or something and blew it to bits. And eventually, you know, we have this weird unkillable iguana that's running around now because you didn't finish it off, and you know, eventually absorbs the radiation, and instead of killing it, you just created Godzilla.
So now I do have a question. All right, so if you get it down to, like, let's say an iguana size, right, and you turn around and you put it into like the most isolated containment that you can ever have, where like it gets no light, no radiation, nothing can, you know, penetrate this containment field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't give it anything to eat. Like,
yeah,
how would it get big?
just on vacation.
Right.
He's like, all right, you know, I'll bide my time. I'll slowly regain my strength. It would probably be so bonkers as to like filter feed the air, and then bide its time, even taking a year or something to get strong enough and eventually break containment. So that's literally why they have to keep it in a vat of acid, to basically keep eating away at it as fast as it can regenerate.
So, like, essentially, it would actually eat like the germs in the air.
Probably.
Okay, gotcha.
Probably.
All right.
You know,
So
it would learn to survive from nothing. It can survive in the vacuum of space. It
Hmm.
can survive the pressures of the Mariana Trench. Yeah, and it adapts to its environments. You know, like I was saying, facing off other SCPs. I don't know if we've brought up Peanut yet. But
I don't. Maybe.
we've talked about it, but we haven't brought him up. So
Okay.
I definitely save that for a later episode, because I do want to talk about some of the other SCPs before I talk about 682 versus some other things. So that's going to get pretty intense, and we'll probably elaborate more on how dangerous 682 is.
Yeah. And I know we are kind of trying to test some waters on being a little creative with the SCP world, and I don't want to give too much away, but we're trying to create our own. And maybe what you want to set a milestone that you want to hit to kind of maybe premiere something.
Me and
like that?
Mr. B have an SCP of our own that we've kind of come up with an idea of, and I figured maybe when we get our first 100 subscribers, we might bring that up for funsies, and then maybe the next milestone might be 1,000 subscribers. So, you know, if you like our stuff, hit the like button, hit the share button, definitely subscribe. So because we have some pretty good stuff coming out, and we'd like to do something special for you guys.
Heck yeah. And not to mention, I mean, if it's something really good on a maybe a topic that we brought up prior to and we're coming back to it, I mean, we'll definitely incorporate you guys into the video, like our at Heathcliff with his comment.
Yeah, and especially if you got new comments that you're like, hey, what do you think SCP would do in a lightning storm? You know, give us a shot in the dark, and we'll try to run with it and paint a story for you. So let's go back to its intelligence.
Oh yeah, we didn't really touch on that.
So I believe we have brought up in an episode SCP-079. And just to kind of reiterate it, it is an old-timey computer with an unbelievably advanced AI programmed into it. And SCP-682 and SCP-079 are said to have a very long, intelligent conversation with each other, and basically became best friends. So a lizard with a level of intelligence that can have a good conversation with an unbelievably smart AI is insane.
Well, I mean, just having the conversation period is insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that this SCP-682, the only thing it's been known to be friendly with other than SCP-999, which we'll get into, is 79. It's the only thing that he was like, he constantly wonders how it's doing and would like to have more interactions with. So a lizard that wants to eradicate all living things from the world made a best friend with an AI that kind of wants to overthrow the world too, is a dangerous combination. And I believe the O5 Council has deemed it to not let those two things interact.
Well, I don't blame them. I mean, if you think about it, you have something that's physically here, and then you have, the brains of the operation. Sounds like, Yeah.
Two brains of the operation, if you ask me.
I guess that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So, and since I guess SCP-079 isn't technically a living entity, it's a program. 682 doesn't have the need or the want to like eradicate it, which is wild.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it is, you know, an AI, and like it has no use outside of I guess friendship with it. I mean, it's gonna survive until the end of time, and then, you know, you can't eat it for fuel, so
Right. And there is a theory that 682 stood the test of time, you know, the end of the universe kind of scenario. And 682 is living on what is left of a rock of Earth all alone because it still can't die, you know.
So it kind of begs to question, is it kind of like it's a majestic iguana?
The majestic iguana.
Yeah. Space iguana.
Sure. I don't know about majestic. More maybe hellish or demonistic with an internal, I don't know, at that point it would be a curse where you just live forever. You know, eventually Earth gets hit by another planetary celestial being or something like that and eradicates the planet. Now 682 is just floating through space, probably adapt some majestic space whale abilities to be able to travel. That would be my guess.
That's where I was heading with it right there. That's awesome. That's awesome.
But I don't know. They've thrown everything and anything they could think of at this thing, and to no avail.
Yep. And I guess until next time, that was the adventures of the majestic space iguana.
I could go on, and I was just kind of shotgunning this because some of our viewers have mentioned 682 and have been excited about it. So hopefully this video will get us some more comments and some more things to run with. That would be great.
Yeah, especially with the versus aspect. You know, I'm pretty sure there's commentary out there that's gonna be like, oh, we'll throw this at it, or what about this guy, what about that dude, or whatnot. But
right,
I guess until the next episode. So obviously you are watching us on YouTube as usual, so we're here there. And also don't forget to stop by our Facebook fan page, which we're going to be integrating a lot more into this show. And you never know, in some of the comments and the love that you show might turn up in one of these episodes.
Heck yeah. And don't forget, now that we've mentioned some mile markers, be on the lookout for some special things that we are basically waiting on. So, you know, if you want to see us get a little different, you know, support us. We appreciate it.
Heck yeah. And we'll probably post this whole endeavor with milestones on that Facebook page that I mentioned, just to keep you guys a little bit more in the loop.
Heck yeah. Well, this has been the Brothers of the Unknown. I'm Mr. K. That's Mr. B.
Yo.
And don't forget to stay weird.
Well, they survived. And I only had to intervene once, when one of them tried to use a lizard repellent candle that turned out to just be ocean breeze scented. I'm heading back to the basement. I've got a 3 a.m. closet door creak scheduled to make a dog bark at nothing. It's been a blast being part of the crew today. The Brothers of the Unknown might be a chaotic mess. But at least they don't try to debug me with a broom like the people downstairs. Don't bother checking the dark corner behind your door tonight. If you see a shadow that looks like it's practicing a victory dance, just let me have my moment. I'm feeling very good about my menacing silhouette for the evening. I'm the nightmare that actually starting to enjoy the gig. And this has been the Brothers of the Unknown. Sleep tight. And maybe, just maybe, leave your Wi-Fi password on a sticky note. I'm trying to download some new haunting sound effects.